Today your main man is going to be educating you on one of my top 5 favorite books from the Dungeons & Dragons 3X line. The Book of Vile Darkness. Just look at that cover art. That's wonderful. This is by Monty Cook. It's an excellent book. I love all the sort of steel and the red, almost blood red with a black mixture, and then the sleek steelish gray white and the back art. Just wonderful. When I first saw this book, I was very interested and had to acquire it. There's a little sticker. It's a little faded off of mine. It says, "Warning, content is intended for mature audiences only." And I believe from the 3X line, this may have been the only book to have received that, although the Fiendish Codex 1 and 2 probably should have had that as well. This book is all about evil and all of its glorious majesty, and I absolutely love it. It has a great discussion on what is evil, and really just getting into the 10 out of 10 evil stuff, the incredibly undulating, visceral, hideous blackness of the abyss, of hell, dealing with disease and drugs and sexual perversion, ritual sacrifice, demonolatry, devil worship. Dealing it presents a number of NPCs to you that are just hideous, horrible individuals. This king, mad king, that goes around with like 10 young children chained up to him that who just drained the life out of it. It's very sick, twisted ideas, and they are very much an adult-themed book. They present statistics for all of the lords of hell. They present statistics for some of the greater demons as well. They present new feats, well, feats that at least aren't in more sanitary books. Some of the vile feats I really like, and they have a description of something called vile damage, and it's so horrifying that unless you go basically to a consecrated place and have a good aligned priest heal you, the damage never goes away. It's horrendous wounds that are inflicted even against your soul, vaguely similar to aggravated damage in the original World of Darkness line, but even worse. It's damage that cuts all the way down deep to your soul, and it's just absolutely wonderful. The Vile Martial Strike, to a 15 charisma, a proficiency, weapon specialization in that weapon, and the 15 charisma allows you to do 1 extra point of damage. That 1 point of damage, however, is Vile, and Vile cuts right through DR, which cuts through everything. It is horrendous damage, and I really absolutely love the feat. I've taken it before. I really enjoy that. For characters, they have basically the equivalent of meta magic feats for creatures that cast spells as spell-like abilities. I believe this is the first place they were introduced. So they have some feats similar to these, however changed up a little bit in the 3.5 Monster Manual, but I believe they were first printed here. There's a number of prestige classes. Of course, the Disciple of Asmodeus, I'm looking at that one immediately as a big fan of Asmodeus, one of my favorite devils. The list of prestige classes is quite interesting. This is the first appearance of the Priest, and in this book it's the Samuel L. Jackson looking guy. Just some wonderful, evocative artwork in this book as well. Let's see if I can find this picture here for you. Actually, you know what? That one may actually be in the other book. That is, yeah, that's in the other book. I found the Priest where I was looking for the picture. Priest are basically, I played one of these in a game, basically really religious zealots of a god, whether it's good or evil, that eventually falls away from that god, becomes an apostate, and begins to have this seething hatred, whether they were a cleric or paladin or what have you. They had this great tie to their deity, and now they have forsaken that deity and all gods, but they see the true lies that the divinity is, and they turn away from them. They do not turn to diabolist practices. They go against the very fabric of magic, of reality, of divinity, and they steal from the gods, taking rightfully that magic into their own possession and bring it forth. It's a very interesting prestige class. I love the fluff design of it. They are very interesting. It's also in the Complete Divine. Complete Divine is where they reprint it. You can see here's another piece of artwork here. I mean, just some really gruesome images that this book is evocative of. I really highly recommend this book. It had an original price of $32.95, sort of an odd price. Last time I looked on eBay, these books were fairly cheap. They were like under 15, but that was a long time ago, so I have no idea to tell you what you would find a copy of this book going for now. I can tell you that it is well worth it. It gives you everything you need for building an evil character. It gives you everything you need for building evil NPCs, for bringing some really just twisted stuff into your game. And you can dial a lot of this back. You know, they're pretty much 10 out of 10 on that 10, you know, that 9.9, 10 on evil in this book. But a lot of that, again, you can dial back a little bit. They also present some new races. They present just a lot of talk about, you know, defining evil and evil acts and really explaining them and saying, okay, you know, you might want to make sure you know your group well before you start presenting certain sorts of adult content of really of depraved nature, so that, you know, you have people coming back next week essentially going over that. And that's something, you know, you need to consider very carefully when dealing with the most heinous of acts. Is that something that your players are going to be able to deal with in an adult fashion and be okay with, or is there something that certain things that you need to put off the table? And those, you know, are going to vary from person to person and group to group. But this book covers everything you want. Some new gods as well in here, and of course great explorations of the fiends, of the devils, of the demons, of clerics of theirs as well. So this book, again, even magic items in here, just pretty much everything you could look for in a book, but really designed towards an upper echelon, or perhaps a lower echelon, perhaps I should say, of incredibly evil actions. It is from the D&D 3X line, Book of Vile Darkness. I highly recommend this. One of my 5 favorite books from the line. And if you have read the book, please, you know, hit a little comment and say what you thought of it, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and why. The only other person I've seen that even mention this is Tower Guard DM. I'll probably link this up as a video response to Win. But if you haven't looked at this and you like the D&D 3X line, definitely pick this book up. You should be able to get at least something out of it.